I wish I could be anyone but me, she shouted out loud. A shooting star shot across the dark night sky, but Kathy was too upset to notice it. Chapter 4. Rise and shine, Kathy. You are going to be late for school. Kathy's mother called it from the kitchen. Kathy sat up slowly and rubbed the sleep from her eyes. She squinted at the Mickey Mouse clock on her wall. Mickey's hands were on the 8 and the 3. Oh no, it was already 8:15. School started at 8:45. She only had half an hour to get dressed, eat breakfast, and walk to school. This day was starting out really rosy. Her mother had put out Cassie's clothes for the day, a bright yellow stainy blouse and black jeans. The outfit was very cheerful. Kathy wasn't feeling cheerful today. She went to her closet and pulled out a gray sweatshirt and jeans instead. That's how she felt, blush, like a gray, cloudy day. As Kathy came into the kitchen, her mother noticed her new outfit. Not in the mood for yellow, huh, kiddo? She asked kindly. Kathy shook her head. Did you have an argument with Susan or Jeremy? Her mother guessed. No, Kathy answered. So what's wrong? Her mother asked. Kathy thought about telling her mother what had happened yesterday, but she was afraid that her mother would call the school to complain about George's bullying. Imagine how mean George would be to her if that happened. Nothing's wrong. Kathy lied to her mother. I'm just tired. Her mom didn't say anything, but Kathy could tell she didn't believe her. You'd better eat that toast, her mom said. It's getting late. Kathy nodded and slowly took a nibble of her bread. She slowly chewed each tiny bite until the toast practically melted in her mouth. Kathy wanted to be late. If she arrived after the bell rang, the class would all be seated and doing their work by the time she got there. Mrs. Dirkman would be upset that she was late, but it was worth it if she could avoid even a little bit of George's teasing. Definitely. You've got to get going, Kathy's mother warned her. You can eat the rest of the day way. Kathy didn't say anything. She slipped on her backpack and headed for the door. Have a good day, kiddo, her mother called it. By the time Kathy finally reached the school, everyone was inside the building. Kathy stood outside her classroom window. She watched as her classmates scrambled into their seats. Kathy knew she should hurry inside, but her feet just didn't seem to want to move. Just then, the wind began to blow. It started out as a slow and gentle breeze, but within seconds, the wind was swirling round and round, round like a tornado. The weird thing was that the wild wind was only blowing around Kathy. The leaves on the trees weren't moving. The bushes weren't moving. Even the flag up on the flagpole wasn't moving. What was going on? Kathy was really scared. She wished she were inside and away from the wind. This wind. She hugged herself tightly and closed her eyes. And then, suddenly, everything was calm again. The wind had its beard as quickly as it had started. Kathy stood perfectly still for a moment, waiting to see if it would start again. Finally, when she was sure the storm was over, Kathy slowly opened her eyes. Everything seemed buried. Kathy blinked really hard. Nothing changed. She still could see very well, but she could smell really well, and her nose was twitching. Cassie stood up tall and sniffed at the air. All around her were yucky smells: salami, egg salad, old Snickers. It was hard to tell where which smell was coming from. The scent were all mixing together. Kathy had only become a champion smeller. She could also hear really well, too well. In fact, everyone in the classroom seemed to be shouting. All the noise was making her nervous. Kathy could feel her heart beating really fast now. Kathy was really scared. She wanted to run right home, but her parents were probably at work by now. there was no one at home to take care of her. If Kathy didn't show up at school, Mrs. Darkman would phone her mother for sure. Kathy definitely did not want that to happen. She ran toward the classroom. She had to hope her sight got better. Bam! She bashed right into a solid glass wall. That was weird, Kathy thought. There hadn't been a glass wall there before. What's going on here? Kathy cried out. Nobody answered. All the kids in the classroom were so busy yelling, they couldn't hear Kathy's cry. Hello, Kathy shouted. Can anyone hear me? Kathy began running wildly in circles. She didn't get very far before she bashed head first into another glass wall. Oops! That one really hurt. As she reached up to rub her head, Kathy noticed that her hand looked strange. This hand was small and furry. This hand had nails and really needed to be clipped. Kathy touched it. Her face, her cheeks felt big and round like huge empty pouches, and her face was all hairy. Quickly, Kathy looked down at her body. Ah! She cried out, I'm naked! Actually, she wasn't completely naked. Her back and stomach were covered with orange-brown fur. And that's when Kathy realized what had happened. She wasn't outside anymore. She was inside, in a hamster cage. She'd become Speedy, the class hamster. Kathy tried to scream, but the only sound that came out of her mouth was a loud squeak.